Hi, welcome to RAR Math and my series of videos on solving systems application problems. My next problem is, at a social fundraiser, nachos cost $6 and burritos cost $8. If 300 items were sold for a profit of $2,040, how many of each food was sold? This is considered a mixture problem. A mixture problem is always when you have a base addition problem and then you have to do something to manipulate each number to get another sum. Oftentimes mixture problems deal with, solvents or solutions or coffee, lots of different ones with percentages. And I have one of those in my series. But for this one, the way we do this is we think of the original item. So we want to know the number of items. But before I even do items, I should define some variables. I'm going to use N for nachos and B for burritos. I have logical variables, so when I get to the end and I have an answer, it'll be easier to tell which variable it goes with. So for my items, I'm told that there are 300 items, which means the number of nachos plus the number of burritos is equal to 300. Then we have to figure out our profit. Well, we don't know how many nachos were sold, but we know that we made $6 each time we sold a nacho. So if we take 6 times the number of nachos, we'll figure out how much money we made on nachos. Now we made $8 for each burrito we sold. So if we take 8 times the number of burritos, we should get the profit from burritos. And then the total profit is $20.40. Here is my system of equations. I am going to use elimination to solve this, and I'm going to do that because my n variables are lined up, my b variables, my constant terms, but also my equal signs. All 4 bits have to be lined up, and then elimination works. It would be really simple to subtract the n to get b equals 300 minus n, and then substitute in if you would prefer to use substitution. I am going to use elimination. To do elimination, I'm going to try to eliminate the smaller constant or coefficient, which is going to be that 6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply both sides of this equation by -6. On the left-hand side, I'm going to get -6n minus 6b because this -6 will distribute through. On the right-hand side, I'm going to get -1800. Now, I may or may not be your math teacher, but I would ask that you never try to subtract in elimination. If you try to subtract, you will most likely get the first term subtracted and maybe even the second, but by the third, you're probably going to add. It is much simpler to multiply through by a negative and always just add down. In this case, these cancel. I'm going to be left with 2b is equal to 240. When I divide both sides by 2, I get that b is equal to 120. Okay, now I know that they add up to 300. I know that n plus 120 equals 300. If I subtract that 120 off, I get that n is equal to 180. Now I need to test. I know that they add up to 300. I've already used the first equation to figure out the second, but now I'm going to plug these values into the second because if it works out, then I'm pretty sure I have the right answer. So I'm going to take 6 times 180 plus 8 times 120 and ask, does this really equal 2040? Well, 6 times 180 will give me 1,080. 8 times 120 will give me 960. And if we add those together, sure enough, that'll add up to 2040. So my answer is, at the social fundraiser, they sold 180 nachos, and this is where using the logical variables help, and 120 burritos. And I'm done. I hope you've learned something on this video. I hope you subscribe to my YouTube channel, like my Facebook page, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks!